boundless expanse of the Atlantic, where light fades into an abyss of crushing pressure, something immense once glided through the currents. A shadow longer than a city bus, with jaws that could engulf a manhole. This is no myth born of sailors' tales, but a creature etched into the fossil record, Otodus megalodon, the mega-tooth shark. A predator that ruled the seas for millions of years, its presence a silent testament to nature's capacity for extremes. Yet in the depths where it hunted, the ocean hides secrets that unsettle our understanding of survival itself. Imagine patrolling these waters today, only to encounter a form that defies comprehension. A shark stretching up to 60 feet, perhaps more. Its body a streamlined dagger slicing through the gloom. Fossils pulled from the Atlantic's coastal sediments reveal teeth as large as a human hand. Triangular blades honed by evolution for one purpose, to rend flesh from bone. These relics, scattered from the Carolinas to the shores of Morocco, whisper of a time when the ocean was an arena of colossal violence. But how did such a behemoth emerge? What forces sculpted a fish into a monster that could dwarf even the blue whale in predatory might? To trace its origins, we must journey back 23 million years to the early Miocene epoch. The Earth was warmer then, its oceans a cradle for life's relentless experimentation. Megalodon's ancestors were modest predators, sharks like Otodus obliquus, measuring perhaps 20 feet, patrolling shallow seas teeming with prey. But environmental pressures mount, global temperatures fluctuated, sea levels rose and fell, and vast migrations of marine mammals began. Whales, seals, and sirenians evolved into larger forms, their blubbery bodies offering rich caloric rewards. In this shifting world, size became a survival imperative. Evolutionary logic favored the giants. Larger bodies meant greater thermal inertia, allowing these sharks to venture into cooler waters without succumbing to the chill. Recent analyses of fossilized teeth and vertebrae suggest Megalodon was endothermic, warm-blooded in a sense, maintaining a body temperature higher than the surrounding sea. This adaptation, inferred from isotopic signatures in enamel, granted it the energy for sustained pursuits across vast distances, but it came at a cost, an insatiable hunger. To fuel such a furnace, Megalodon required immense quantities of food, pressuring it to become an apex hunter without peer. Consider the trade-offs etched into its anatomy. Unlike the stocky, great white shark, once thought to be its modern echo, new reconstructions paint Megalodon as longer and more slender, a lithe torpedo, perhaps reaching 80 feet in exceptional specimens, based on vertebral proportions reevaluated by paleontologists. This elongated build, akin to a massive mackerel shark, optimized for cruising efficiency rather than brute bursts of speed. Its fins, broad and powerful, propelled it through the Atlantic's thermoclines, where warm surface waters met the icy depths. Yet this gigantism introduced vulnerabilities, slower maturation rates, fewer offspring, and a reliance on abundant, high-energy prey. In the balance of survival, Megalodon traded agility for dominance, becoming a creature that could ambush a 40-foot whale with a single catastrophic bite. Real examples abound in the fossil record. Along the Atlantic margins, sites like the Bone Valley in Florida yield nurseries of juvenile teeth, clustered in sheltered bays where young megalodons grew under the protection of mangroves and estuaries. These shallow havens, now buried under sediment, allowed the vulnerable pups, already 10 feet at birth, to hone their instincts away from larger threats. As they matured, they ventured into the open ocean, their migrations traced by tooth finds across the North Atlantic gyre. One leading theory, supported by geochemical traces, posits seasonal journeys following whale herds. Much like modern predators shadow their quarry. But the Atlantic was no empty void. It pulsed with life, a web of interactions where Megalodon's presence warped the ecosystem. Its bites left scars on whale bones, fossilized vertebrae from leviathans like Livyatan, a sperm whale rival, bear gouges from those serrated edges. Environmental pressures amplified this. Cooling climates during the Pliocene squeezed warm water habitats, concentrating prey in narrower bands. Megalodon adapted, its range expanding from equatorial tropics to temperate zones, but at what hidden expense? The ocean's vastness concealed the strains of such extremity, where every advantage carried the seed of potential downfall. As we delve deeper, the scale unfolds. This was no isolated giant, but a force that shaped marine evolution itself. Entire species evolved defenses against it. Thicker blubber, faster swimming, even migratory patterns to evade its domain. Yet in the heart of the Atlantic, where currents converge in silent eddies, Megalodon reigned supreme, or so it seemed. What unseen shifts began to erode this colossus's throne? What whispers from the deep foretold a reckoning that would leave only echoes in stone? The Atlantic's golden age of giants could not endure forever. Beneath the surface, calm, subtle currents of change were gathering. Shifts in temperature, in prey abundance, in the very chemistry of the sea. What began as an empire built on extremity now faced the unforgiving arithmetic of survival. Megalodon, the 60-foot sovereign, stood at the pinnacle of its world. Yet pinnacles are fragile places. As the Pliocene gave way to the Pleistocene, roughly 3 million years ago, the planet entered a cycle of profound cooling. Massive ice sheets locked away water, exposing continental shelves and narrowing the warm coastal nurseries where young megalodons once sheltered. The Atlantic's productive upwelling zones shifted poleward, fragmenting the vast hunting grounds that had sustained these behemoths. Prey species adapted in turn. Many whales grew larger and faster, migrating into colder waters where megalodons' thermal advantages began to falter. The scars tell a story of escalating difficulty. Fossil assemblages from the Gatun Formation in Panama and the Yorktown Formation in Virginia reveal a pattern. Bite marks on whalebone become less frequent in later deposits, while those that remain often show regrowth, healed wounds on survivors that escaped. Evolutionary logic now worked against the giant. Its colossal size, once an asset for overpowering large prey, became a liability when calories grew scarce. Estimates derived from body mass and metabolic modeling suggest an adult megalodon required up to 2,000 pounds of food per day. In a cooling ocean with declining whale populations, that demand bordered on impossible. Compounding this pressure was the rise of new competitors. Around 3.6 million years ago, the great white shark lineage diverged and began to proliferate. Smaller, more agile, and capable of maturing faster, Carcharodon carcharias exploited the same coastal niches but with far lower energetic costs. Simultaneously, killer whales, Orcanis orca, emerged as pack hunters, their intelligence and cooperative strategies allowing them to target juvenile megalodons and compete directly for prey. Tooth marks attributed to orcas have been identified on megalodon vertebrae, silent testimony to battles waged in the depths. One of the most decisive blows came from the land itself. The final emergence of the Central American Isthmus disrupted the Great Equatorial Exchange, cooling the Atlantic further and altering nutrient flows. Warm water refugia contracted, forcing megalodon populations into suboptimal habitats. Genetic bottlenecks, inferred from rare preserved mitochondrial traces in teeth, suggest dwindling numbers and reduced diversity. The species that once spanned oceans now clung to shrinking pockets of suitable environment. The final chapter remains veiled in uncertainty, but the evidence converges on a gradual fade rather than sudden catastrophe. The youngest confirmed megalodon teeth, dated through strontium isotope ratios and associated fauna, cluster around 2.6 million years ago, though a handful of controversial specimens push closer to 1.5 million. No credible remains breach the barrier into the modern epoch. The Atlantic's monster did not vanish in a single apocalyptic event, but slipped away across generations, its vast form growing rarer until the seas knew it no more. In the end, Autodus megalodon stands as a monument to nature's fleeting extremes. A creature so perfectly attuned to abundance that scarcity became its undoing. The ocean, vast and indifferent, absorbed its reign and moved on, leaving only serrated relics scattered across the seafloor. Yet in those silent teeth lies a deeper unease, a reminder that even the most formidable adaptations carry within them the terms of their own expiration. The Atlantic keeps its secrets well, and beneath its waves, the possibility of unseen giants lingers, an echo of what once was, and perhaps a warning of what the deep may yet conceal.